Welcome back to another Mayor's Hour. I'm here with my sidekick, my cohort in crime, jocular Jack Harris, the pride of West Virginia.
Oh, yes.
And his entire family, which consists of most of West Virginia. And we are here.
It's a rough start here.
It's been a long day, Jack, already.
It has.
We are here with Matt Silverman. Of the Tampa Bay Rays, one of our favorite topics, and we are.
You better believe
we
it.
are in our Rays regalia. We love the Rays, and we're excited about this season. And we're going to talk to Matt in a little bit, Jack, about what's going on and some of the things the team's doing outside of baseball, out in the community, which is an awful lot of great things. And we're here for another great show.
Oh, I know. We are so fortunate to have the Rays, to have the ownership, and Joe Madden is somebody special too. I mean, this is just incredible from top to bottom. We're the most fortunate community around to have this group here.
We have, yeah. And Stu Sternberg and Matt and Andrew and all the guys that are associated with this from the day they got here, from the day they bought this team, have been active in the community. So Matt, welcome again to the Mayor's Hour. I know you filmed it a couple years ago. You got a whole new, well, at least you got one part of the new crew. He's a fixture. He should be the mayor.
I can't get you. Oh yeah, I don't believe I want to do that. That's tough enough. Yeah, it is something, because the Rays always do the unexpected, and I'm talking about on the field now. Somehow, I don't know how you guys keep Joe Madden, because he's got to be the hottest property in the league, 2 times manager of the year. They ought to go on and give it to him this year as well, because he takes the most unlikely players and the most unlikely mix and does such unlikely things like playing guys at 8 different positions and 8 different places in the batting order and all, and somehow wins. That's incredible.
Yeah, he's an incredible manager. You know, for us, he's the manager of the year every single year.
Yeah.
And he's a fixture with the Rays now. We've been together for 7 seasons as a group. And when Joe finishes this next contract that he's under, he will be the longest tenured coach in the history of Tampa Bay sports.
Wow.
So just an incredible accomplishment, a great guy. And you're right, he gets the most out of the players. The players love playing for Joe Madden. There's great chemistry in the clubhouse, and he's one of the real reasons that we've had the success that we've had on the field the last several years.
And you got to love those plaid outfits.
Oh,
yeah, you never know what he's going to wear.
Are you
going to ask people to wear?
Coming up with those crazy ideas?
Now, does he look like?
No, he's pretty straight.
You know, they had the nerd trip with the bow ties.
Oh, that was the funniest.
And basically, I just put a bow tie on. So,
but you tied one. You didn't have a clip on.
No, it was a real one.
A real one. That's good.
Yeah,
good. I'm proud of you. Yeah.
But you know, the thing is, and we were talking about this earlier, from the ownership, from Stu Sternberg, all the way down through you and everybody, it's just such a great asset to the community. Well, first of all, economic impact is huge, and we won't even get into that, but the things that you all do in the community and for the community, it's monstrous. You guys have some pretty high bars that you set.
Yeah, and that's a big part of being a baseball team, is giving back to the community, and we've been able to do that. But a lot of it goes to the depth of the relationships that we've had. We've now been here for 7-8 years, and it really allows us to develop partnerships to make meaningful change in our community through our foundation, through the work of our players, through Joe Madden, and that's one of the real benefits that a baseball team can bring to a community. It's an important part of a baseball team in a community, and it's what separates us from other communities like Charlotte that don't have a baseball team. You know, we benchmark ourselves against other communities. We're lucky to have a baseball team, and it's a real differentiator for us.
Well, yeah, I mean, you guys really have been a great corporate partner for this community, and I know you do a lot of stuff out in the community off the field, and a lot of the players do as well. I know you've been involved in the Belmont Heights Little League. Tell us a little bit, Matt, about what some of those projects are and what some of the things the Rays are involved in that people may not know about.
Yeah, the Rays Baseball Foundation is our main vehicle, and we've donated more than $2 million in the last couple of years back into our community. A lot of it's with the Little Leagues. It's programs with children. We have our players out in South St. Pete right now working in what we call the dugout clubs, working with rec centers. And you have Matt Joyce right now, who's leading the Reading with the Rays program in the public libraries in Hillsborough County and other counties in our area.
Yes, and you know, the great thing is, too, I know a lot of these players are going to end up, when they finish their careers, settling here and becoming a part of the community, which is one of the other kind of unspoken assets of having you guys in here, because they become great parts of the community. They come back and they continue to get involved in the community and do things for them.
Yeah, and I think we have more players living year-round here than most teams do.
Yes.
Players want to make their home here when they play here. It's a great community, and they'll say that. It's a big city, but it has that small town feel, and they really enjoy it. And that's one of the other things that helps us bring players in and keep the players here and make them happy.
Well, I see Coach Madden on Bayshore Boulevard all the time, riding his bike or hanging out in the coffee shops. And I saw in the paper just today that he apparently bought Coach McKay.
Yeah.
His old house on Bayshore Boulevard.
Yeah, saw the same thing. Joe, if you want an advertisement for Tampa, Joe's the guy to go to.
Yep.
He just loves everything about it. He loves the beauty of Bayshore. He loves the nightlife. He loves the activity. And he loves all the things you can do, what's 20 minutes away from Tampa in one direction or the other. So, a great guy to be an advertisement for the community, and just a great guy as a manager too, of course.
As the head of the Tampa Bay Rays, you've got to be the youngest in the leagues by far, are you not? And especially given the length of time you've been doing this already.
I was the youngest, and I think I still am the youngest.
Oh, you got to be.
Yeah, at some point someone's going to pass me, but
but he's getting a little more gray hair than he did.
I do have the gray hair.
He's joining you and I, Jack.
Watching a lot of baseball games, especially close baseball games. It'll do this to you.
These guys will do it to you quicker than
sometimes
anything.
They will.
You've got to figure a blessed team when. Let's see, was it last year? What year is it? That the great Yankees game, down 7-0 and come back.
Last year.
Was that was last year?
Game 162.
Into the playoffs. You had to lose. I mean, Boston had to lose. It happens. We're down 7-0. It's like, wow, what an opportunity missed and all of that stuff. And me being the glass half empty guy, I'm thinking, holy cow, what if we'd only won this game? And all of a sudden, we're in it. We win it, and then the home run, and boom, we're out of there. We're in the playoffs. You got to feel like you're blessed when that happens.
And that's part of the beauty of baseball. As part of the intangibles of having a baseball team is the lift that you can give to the whole community and the mood. And we've seen that over the last several years. I mean, the economics of the nation and our country haven't been great, but during this time we've had baseball, we've had other things we can latch onto, and that's one of the things that we take great pride in is having an organization that you can latch onto, you want to root for, and that things may not be great in other parts of your life, but you have the Rays as a constant in your life and something that brings you joy 6 months out of the year, hopefully 7 months out of the year if we're in the playoffs.
Oh, there was nothing like that World Series year, being over here and that atmosphere and everything was just incredible. And we didn't win the series, but it's like, well, this is the beginning, and then down the road we'll get the one that we're going to win. But you can't beat them. What it does for a community, just picking a community up like that. There's no substitute for that. We do have, you were talking about players loving it because it's kind of a small town feel, although we are the 13th ADI in the country.
Right.
And yet it's like a small town because it's a bifurcated community. You have Tampa and St. Petersburg and Clearwater and Sarasota, and you add all the others to it, which also makes it a little more difficult. But the popularity of the team is visible not just in the people that are in the stands, but TV ratings. I saw something the other day where we had a TV ratings that were, I think, tops in the league or something, had done a jump in ratings. People just love the Rays.
Yeah, ever since 2008, we've seen the TV ratings climb, and we had a small blip last year, but this year we're setting those record levels in terms of TV ratings, and it just goes to show how popular this team is, and how closely linked the community is to the team. There are a lot of statistics that show this is the most popular team in the area, and we've come a long way since the Devil Ray days to get there, and we're not going to rest on our laurels. We're going to continue to provide great entertainment. We want to provide a great experience when the fans come here to Tropicana Field, and we want to continue to be the most popular team. We also want to get to the playoffs. Those are the two things. We want great baseball, and we want great entertainment, and sometimes the two go hand in hand, but the TV audience is what really gives us confidence about the strength of this franchise going forward.
So how do you, and I know Andrew does a lot of this for you guys, but I know you and Stu are involved in it. You guys have a knack for finding young players and grooming them many of them start out in the Rays system.
Right.
How is it that you're able to identify them and pick them out and know that they're going to be the next David Price or the next Evan Longoria?
It really is an organizational approach, and it takes.
Is it data-driven?
It's data-driven and it's scout-driven, and what I think Andrew takes the most pride in, if you look at his baseball operations organization, there's no one raising their hand taking credit. The credit is shared amongst everyone.
Yeah,
you don't hear about a certain individual who I scouted this guy, I made this decision. No, it's an organization-first approach, and so we develop the guys that we draft. Sometimes we trade for them. You got Ben Zobrist, an all-star, a mainstay on this team, someone who decided to be here long-term, was someone we got in a trade with Houston. But you take those players, and they want to be a part of it, and everyone just wants to do their part for the organization. No one's out there saying, I did this, I did that. It's very much a we organization, and I think that's a big part of the success that we've had. These guys know that they're one part of an entire unit, and they play that way, and Joe Madden makes sure everyone buys into that system.
You know what I find amazing about Matt's story and about the story of the Rays is, they were, in essence, an organization in a previous life, working for a major financial institution. What is it that, were you a baseball junkie as a kid? I mean, did you grow up, out here at ballparks in New York or wherever?
Yeah, you got to be a baseball junkie to work in this job, in this industry, and you have to love it. And you have to think of coming to the games and going to the spring training games as something that you enjoy, not something that's work.
Yeah.
So while I was in New York, I would love to go to games. And when I grew
Who
up,
are you a fan of?
Well, I was a fan of everybody but New York.
Because you didn't grow up.
No, I grew up in Texas. I grew up in Texas, and I was a Cubs fan and a Rangers fan, so I watched a lot of bad baseball growing up. But
you had Nolan Ryan, though.
I had Nolan Ryan for the tail end of his career.
Yeah.
I saw his 5,000 strikeout live. But yeah, it was something that was in my blood. My grandfather was a big fan. He used to take me to the games when I was a kid, and that's what we want to replicate here. We want generations of fans. We want grandparents taking their grandkids to games and everyone having a great time and passing down being a Rays fan, just like you see in Boston and New York and Chicago. Generational approach is something that's really important, and we're getting close to that second generation of Rays fan. It's a big turning point for the franchise.
Well, it's interesting, Jack, because so many of us are not from Florida originally.
Oh, I know.
And so we all have our allegiances to whatever
Detroit
teams we grew up in.
But particularly Boston and New York fans down here.
But the more they get exposed to the Rays, that next generation of kids, like my kids, will grow up as Rays fans. They haven't known anything else, so they'll be Rays fans. They won't be, Red Sox fans or Yankees fans. They'll be Rays fans. And so that will take time, but you're right.
I have seen the transformation because, I used to come to games going back to Del Rey's days, and whenever the Yankees or Boston were here, it was a home game for the Yankees and Bo Sox, and that's not the case anymore. I mean, they have a lot of fans in here, and they help fill the place up, but it's still a Rays game now, and that makes a big difference.
Wherever the Yankees and Red Sox go, they have fans, but what you see now is that Rays fans well outnumber them.
Oh, big time.
They can almost match their voices. Not always, but we have the cowbells. Sometimes it equalizes. But it feels like Rays territory.
Yeah.
It's a Rays region. Tampa is a Rays town, and if you look back 8 years ago, it wasn't that way. So we're on the right trajectory. The fan base is growing, the energy and the excitement is growing, and it's our job just to continue to do everything we can to make sure things continue to go in the right direction.
Well, Matt, we appreciate it. We're going to get to a segment with Coach Madden shortly and some of the players, and congratulations on your pending nuptials.
Thank you.
For all of the single women out there, the most eligible bachelor in the Tampa Bay area is toast. He took my title. He's toast. Congratulations,
Thank
Matt.
you.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. If I break your bat, I'm sorry. Did they? All right. two old guys out here. He's going to bring the heat now. Jam me inside. All right, give me one more. Thanks. All right. Thanks, guys. Jack Harris and I are here with one of the Rays stars, somebody that we've enjoyed watching Jack over the years as he has sort of grown into the job of an all-star. Grown into the job of one of the franchise players. He's one of the fan favorites. He is David Price. And David, thanks for being on the Mayor's Hour. It's good to see you. I promised him that we're not sports writers. We're not real journalists. We just have fun. Yeah.
I got a chance to introduce him and to award him with the Tampa Bay Sports Club, I guess about 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, when he was awarded the Tampa Bay Rays Player of the Year over there. And I said then, this guy is on his way to Cooperstown. He is on his way, and everybody cheered and everything like that. And I'm thinking, he does have the potential. Who knows? Now, I will say he is definitely on his way to Cooperstown. He is the guy.
Well, tell us a little bit about your background, your career. How'd you end up here? I know we all watched you in the All-Star game, which was great. We're real proud of you. So.
Oh, that was awesome.
I was born and raised in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. My parents have been together for 41 years. They're still together now. I went to Vanderbilt there in Nashville, so I wanted to stay close to home, so all my family and friends and people that had supported me whenever I was growing up could continue to do that.
So did you go on a pitching baseball scholarship?
I did, baseball and academic scholarships. Right. So that was good to have school paid for that way. And I was drafted by the Rays in 2007. And then I made an appearance in 2008 postseason, and then I've been up here since the middle of 2009.
That's great. That's great. So how many years in the big? 3 years?
I've got over 3 years right now.
And you were All-Star selection this year?
Yes, sir.
That was great. And were you the first pitcher in the All-Star game? Is that second pitcher?
Yeah.
You were the only one that I cared about.
Well, and you talk about high praise. The Tampa Bay Times said then they made a horrible mistake in starting Verlander there, that they should have started Price. Yeah. And then he's got that shirt on right now, and I happen to watch that game, but it's a 13 because I think there's one other guy, one other
Fernando Rodney,
are the first players to reach 13 victories.
Wow.
And that game the other night was awesome, but what a great representation of the Tampa Bay Rays in the inning you turned in the All-Star game. I know it was only one inning, but what a phenomenal inning that was.
Yeah, it was good. It took 7 pitches, so I know the happiest person was probably our GM and Andrew Friedman. That's what he told me. He was the happiest person in the world whenever I only threw 7 pitches in the All-Star game. So that was good for me to be able to go out there and throw strikes and put up a 0 for the AL and get us back in that dugout.
That's great.
That was terrific. What were you thinking about when you found out that you were drafted by the Rays? Was it kind of a thing where you thought, boy, I'd like to have gone to the Yankees, or I'd like to have gone to the...
No, he could have been on the Mayor's Hour if he'd gone to New York.
Well, you'd have missed
the mayor wouldn't even know who he was. We're on a first-name basis with this guy.
There you go.
Bloomberg doesn't care about him.
I was very happy. I was... At the time, Tampa was not a very good organization. I guess they were a good organization, just didn't have a very good baseball team at the time. And they were very young, and I admired that fact. I was happy to be able to come up here with guys that were around my age. I wasn't around a bunch of guys that had 10, 12 years in the big leagues. There was a bunch of guys that had 2, 3, 4, 5 years really was the most whenever I got here. So that was good. They treated me like I belonged here, and that was something I appreciated. It helped me get acclimated to the big leagues a lot quicker that way. So that was good. I love the fact to have a chance to live in Florida. That's something you grow up as a kid, you always want to go to Florida because of the beaches and the weather. And I'd only been to Florida, I guess, a couple times, whenever I got drafted. So it was a good chance for me to come out here and enjoy this beautiful weather and have fun in Tampa.
Is there a chance we're going to have you retiring here someday? And
retire? We don't want him to retire. He's got to keep that arm going.
Another 20 years. He can pitch another 20 years anyway. But
you'd have to ask Friedman that question.
Well, I can figure out how to turn the power off to this building. So do you live in Tampa full time?
I do. I live in Harbor Island.
Sweet. You can vote for me.
I can.
There we go.
You have it.
You've got to vote.
Close it down. That's it. That's all we need. That's great. Well, we're going to inconvenience you during the RNC. You know that, right?
That's right.
All right.
Okay.
So just hang with it. We'll get.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
He's going to be inconvenienced big time.
Yeah, we'll get you through. Yeah, we'll get you through.
But now that is great to have you guys here, and you all are such an unpredictable team.
Yeah.
You know,
Exciting.
It just goes from some nights you just see horrible and think, how does that happen? And you know, looking for the support you get. You know, when you come out there and have a great game, but the bats aren't there, and you say, oh, that's got to drive you crazy. Because you could be probably 16 wins right now. Or
I mean, that's part of it. There's a lot of guys that go through that all season. So when it's been my day, we've played extremely well. We've hit the ball extremely well, and that's very appreciated by me for sure.
Good. Well, that's great. Well, we appreciate you joining us. We know you got a game tonight. We know you're busy, and we look forward to maybe him having a short walk to a stadium. I didn't say that. I did. Did I say that?
I don't think you said that. You couldn't possibly
Thanks,
say that.
David.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're back with another one of the Rays players, Luke Scott. He is a Floridian, Jack.
Yes, indeed.
Which is pretty cool. He's a hometown boy practically, since we've incorporated the land into the city limits of Tampa, and so we're darn proud to have him here.
You better believe it.
But we just had David Price, and Luke, tell us a little bit about your journey to the bigs.
My journey to the bigs hasn't been the easiest one. I mean, I had to overcome a whole lot of obstacles.
Kind of like me being the mayor.
Yeah, it was.
Takes a while.
Yeah, I was a senior draft pick, and I was fortunately drafted in the 9th round, and didn't have much money invested in me, so I had a really big hill to climb. But I practiced godly principles. I worked hard, and did everything I could do to give me an edge, and the rest. The rest has been, God's plan for my life. He's brought me here.
So you got drafted out of college or out of high school, or both?
I didn't get drafted out of high school. I got drafted twice out of Oklahoma State, and once by the Rays,
right,
and then by the Indians in 2001.
Okay.
And ended up with the Rays, and you finished college, right, at Oklahoma State.
Yep.
And then into the bigs. What's it like to go into the minors? I mean, the difference between being
riding the bus or riding the plane is what.
Yeah, I think the minor leagues is a weeding out process. What it's going to do, it's really going to find out if people are dedicated and disciplined, because you don't have your parents taking care of you. I mean, you're just shoved into a man's world, and it's 7 days a week. And so, guys that are used to having things done for them, I mean, it really starts to show up later on this season. For example, eating right. If you're not disciplined and taking care of your body, by June, July, and August, the guys are throwing 95 are now throwing 90. Their two-seamers doesn't have that late life, and everything's their control isn't as good. And guys like me who were eating good, I was getting my sleep and taking care of my body, training hard in the weight room every day, staying away from the distractions off the field. That really worked to my advantage, because as the season went along, I maintained my strength or even got stronger.
Or got stronger, sure. Yeah.
So the minor leagues it's not easy. It's I made $850 a month, and then I had to pay my taxes, and I had to pay my rent, and all my food and clubhouse dues. I mean, you had nothing left.
He makes that in a day.
But I don't think people are aware of the difference between, you read about the big contracts in the majors and all the money that these guys make, and they aren't aware of the hardships of being in the minor leagues and not making a lot of money.
Yeah, what it takes to get there is, it's not easy. I mean, some guys are fortunate to get a good signing bonus. They make a 7-figure signing bonus, and they're able to live comfortably. Hopefully they use that as their disposal as a blessing to get them the best, eat the best food, sleep in a good bed.
Yep.
All those things. They really are key factors. I slept on an egg crate on the floor in the minor leagues. Had no furniture. My furniture was a bucket. We had a bucket, and I had a room with 4 Latinos.
You do what we call paid your dues,
absolutely,
to say the least.
It was
You've had a great career thus far, and a very, very bright future, obviously. What's the one highlight you look back at, the one moment you look back at that stands out most in your mind?
Other than the mayor's hour.
Well, I think it's. I think my first day in the big leagues, when in 2005 I finally made it to the major leagues, and I was an opening day starter in left field, and And, you know, I mean, you got the butterflies and all that, but it really hit me hard when I was going out and I was stretching. And
but you made it.
I had my uniform on. I'm in a big league stadium, 40+ thousand people, and you know, I earned it. It took a lot of. I just started reflecting at all the hard work and the sacrifices that I had to make, and the emotion just overcame me. I started to cry.
Well, and you remember all the people who helped you get there, whether
Absolutely.
it was your parents or your coaches or someone along the way who said, you know, who gave you a break and gave you a chance or gave you a butt whipping or whatever it took.
Absolutely.
That you know, you were there in the show because of them and because of your own hard work.
Yeah, it's something. I mean, none of us get here, you know, all by ourselves. Yeah. I mean, you got to have a good team of people around you, your family. You got to have good friends and coaches who believe in you and people who are going to sow into your life. But also, I mean, whenever you get to experience that victory, you share it with them. Yeah. You know, you share it with
Absolutely.
them,
and you help someone else along the way.
And then you help someone else when it's your turn. Absolutely.
So how's the season going? We're taping this in July. How's it looking?
Well, the season has not gone the way we wanted. I mean, we've had a lot of adversity. We've had a lot of injuries, and you know, we've gone through.
Yeah, that's been a big thing.
It's been a huge thing, and we've also had some difficulties. You know, just personal difficulties on the field, just the game itself. You know, going through some tough slumps and things like that. And those things happen, but compounded with the injuries and everything, it's, you know, we know that what we're capable of. We know the talent that we have and the work ethic that we have and the chemistry that we have as a group. And we really believe that we should be sitting atop of the AL East. No doubt we should be the best team in baseball. That's our thought and our feeling. Has it happened that way? No. Is it disappointing? Yes. But we don't focus on that. You know, the cards that have been dealt, you know, have been dealt. And you know what? There's still almost half a season left.
Yep.
And you know what? If we worry about the past, then it's just gonna take our thoughts and our focus off the present moment and the future.
This guy's going to be a good motivational speaker.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
For sure.
We're looking forward to a great remainder of the season.
Absolutely.
Jack and I want to be cheering in that World Series when you guys are in it and ringing our cowbells.
Oh, yeah, you better believe it. It's such a tremendous future with guys like you and David and all the other guys on this team. That the future, I mean, looking down the road is just awesome.
Yeah.
It's great to have you here.
Yeah, it's great. I'm glad to be here. It's been a blessing for me.
Well,
Back
thanks,
in
Luke.
Florida.
Yep. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Good luck tonight. Yeah.
As always.
And we got the big dog now.
Oh, yeah.
We got the skipper.
We got the best manager in all of baseball. This guy could be on his way to Cooperstown. I really believe that.
Well, as
Only if I drive up there.
For those of you who don't recognize this figure, this iconic figure in the Tampa Bay area, this is the skipper of the Rays, Joe Madden. And Joe, thanks.
Mayor, thank you. That's very kind of you guys. I appreciate it. My pleasure. Thank you.
But you know, that is amazing to be manager of the year twice in the American League, and you really got screwed out of it probably one or two other times, I think. That probably, the managers don't generally star on a team, and yet when you said iconic, that is so true. He is the face of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah, he is indeed, and we're real proud of you, Coach.
It's all about the players, though, believe me, and I appreciate the kind words, but it starts with ownership, and you guys know that. I mean, Stu and the boys, they put this whole thing together. Then upstairs, Matt Silverman and Andrew Friedman and Jerry Hunsiger and all those guys, and then you don't win without good players. I mean, our players have gotten progressively better since 2006, and culminates in going to the World Series in 2008. And it's about flipping the culture. We have definitely a different culture here now. Our guys expect to win on a nightly basis. But I appreciate all the kind thoughts. But believe me, it is such a team situation around here. I feel very fortunate to be part of this team.
Well, you are a well-known figure around Tampa. I see you riding your bike on the Bay Shore. I see you on Davis Islands. I see you in the coffee shops.
I love it. I do. I love riding the bike. I go up and down Bay Shore over to Davis and come on back. I hang out at my different spots.
But those Velcro shorts that you wear, those tight ones, can you do something about that, Coach?
You know what? No, I can't. And actually, they're as loose as I could possibly make them. It's just me.
Long pants are nice.
But actually, I've gotten small over the last year, so it's a good thing. I like to sweat. I love the humidity just to sweat and really get a good workout in. But up and down, like up and down Bay Shore over to the island and coming on back, and then maybe heading over to 717 South.
Oh, absolutely. A wee glass of wine.
Yeah, I had a nice several glasses there last night with Michael. So it's just the whole vibe of the area. I really like it a lot, not just a little bit. My wife and I just recently purchased a new home. And we sold and bought again in the Tampa area, right along Bayshore. I love it. I mean, it's very healthy. It's a vibrant area, and it's a very interesting place to live also. So for all these different reasons, we love it.
And incidentally, it was the house that once Coach John McKay, who was the first coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, obviously lived in a fabulous place. It's going to be great.
We didn't even know that. We walked in, we just we were interested, so we looking through the different listings, and Rick Vaughn's wife Sue is our realtor, and we go in there, and all of a sudden the lady that was showing us the place said that Coach McKay had lived there, and I thought, wow, that's tremendous. And of course, remembering his famous line about the execution of the offense, and he was all for it. And the fact that he was a USC guy, and the fact that I had come from the Angels and had been there for a long period of time, and we have common friends from the back in his days at USC, so it's all kind of these weird connections coming together. But really, it's very cool to know that Coach McKay lived there.
And no one's going to throw a pie in our face when they sneak up on us.
Not yet. Well,
they didn't see me hit, though.
Joe Peralta's considering it right now. Peralta's considering it right now.
It's a federal offense to throw it at the mayor.
Well, you can't do it. We might need you to pitch tonight.
I'm ready. I got
the amazing thing is the way you are the hardest working manager around, because you always make so many unexpected changes in the lineup. I mean, it's fascinating to read about what happens in a game, who's playing in what slot, or who's playing in what position in the outfield. And most managers don't have that. They got a third baseman. He comes in, he plays third base, and that's it. He bats third in the lineup or whatever.
I got to tell you a funny story about him. He was at a lunch, and he asked the audience what the lineup should be.
Yeah.
And he put on his card, wrote it all down, and that was the lineup. And you won that night.
We've won twice now at the Chamber Luncheon, twice last year, this year, and the previous year. And they're the ones that put Matty Joyce into the 3-hole.
Absolutely.
And Matty went off once we put him in the 3-hole. But it's a lot of fun to do that kind of stuff. I enjoy that. I do like, we have to do the moving lineups. That's how we're built in the offseason. When Andrew and I sit down, we start talking about everything. Like you suggested, we just don't buy one position. We buy maybe two guys to play one position, and then you have to parcel it out during the course of the season, and that's a big part of our success. Everybody plays here. Everybody has a piece of the ownership, and that's why our guys love playing here too.
And the other thing that's just remarkable, and believe me, no other team in Major League Baseball by a long shot has as much fun and does as many weird things as you guys do. And you're at the helm.
He's
of
the head 6-year-old on the
yeah,
the head crazy person.
I may mature one of these days.
You never grow up.
I'm hoping not. No, we do a lot of fun things with their little theme trips, and
save me some of those plaid jackets.
Well, the plaid jackets, but their post-game celebration is the best in all professional sports. After every game we win, we have this really cool celebration that goes on inside, and I love that. I love that our guys celebrate victory, and if we don't win, they don't carry it home or bring it back with them the next day. It's 30 minutes, lose and leave, come back the next day refreshed.
What do you do on the post-win celebration? What all happens there?
Well, maybe one of these days we'll permit a camera to come on in there, but I doubt that that'll happen. It includes a disco ball, and it includes...
he's big at disco dancing.
Yeah, well, you might, and it includes Captain Morgan sign being lit, and it includes
a little Captain Morgan,
a little theme song. So there's a lot of, and then of course the players getting involved. It's unique and it's fun every night that we win.
That's great.
Another big thing that he is very much noted for in the Tampa Bay area, and that's throughout the Tampa Bay area, and he's created a new celebration for the holidays, the Thanksmas celebration. That's a phenomenal thing.
That was something that I really wanted to get going when he came out here. When I had been with the Angels, I used to ride my bike up and down the beaches in California. I was always upset about the homeless situation. I thought if I had ever gotten to a bigger soapbox, I would try to utilize it. So when he came here, I ran it by the Rays upstairs, and we started Thanksmas in 2007, gotten bigger on an annual basis. Now we're raising awareness and having people understand that those that are homeless, it's not just folks that don't want to work. A lot of it's families, a lot of it's single moms, maybe an injured veteran. There's a lot of different reasons why people are homeless. And then furthermore, with the situation we're in economically right now, a lot of people are in need now that used to give. That's the part about all this that I don't think people really do understand. So for me, it's very important to me, for us to do this. It's getting bigger on an annual basis in the sense that we're touching more people. We don't want the homeless situation to become bigger. It's just we're out there a little bit more often now.
Well, you know what's great, Jack, is it starts at the top with Stu and Matt and Andrew and you know, they've instilled it in the DNA of this team. You know, that it's not all about what takes place here. It's also an obligation out there. And, you know, you epitomize that, Coach. It's
all our guys that get involved in our community here. I'm here to tell you, man, just to get involved and talk to all of our players, you would enjoy each and every one of those conversations. They're wonderful young men. They're great teammates. They get along really well and in a funny manner together. I love that part about it. But it does start at the top. It always does. There's not any organization that can be good or successful without great leadership, and I'm talking from ownership on down. And we happen to be very lucky with that. Not only Stu, but also a lot of the partners that are involved that come here. They come in a clubhouse, they come in a dugout, they're here for batting practice, they support all the guys, and the guys can field it.
And your enthusiasm in helping people and helping the homeless, of course, spills over on your players, and that's one of the great benefits of having a Major League Baseball team in our community because of the work that these guys do. I mean, so many of them have their own causes, and they go out and they work with kids in Little League, and they go out and they work with kids that need help and things like that, and nobody can do it better than Major League Baseball players because they're so much looked up to.
And they all want to, everybody here wants to give back in some way. We all do. And like you're saying, I think the more our guys are here, which is kind of nice, because a lot of our players have been here for a period of time, that really causes you to become even more involved in the community, whereas you really want to give even more, I think. And then you start knowing people. Like you said, I go to Starbucks, whatever, and I had like 10 people, a nice game last night, Coach, have another good one. They're always wishing us well, and that's just me, and I know that happens with the players on a daily basis. I love the fact that our guys get involved in the community.
Do they wave at you with all their fingers? Because sometimes when they do it to me, Coach,
they
only they're missing a few. No, I don't understand it, Jeff. What's wrong with that?
No, it's normally a full hand.
Do they recognize you when you're out biking on Bayshore?
Yeah, some guys. There's the regulars out there, and I run into the regulars all the time, and I always give them a wave. And I'll tell you what happened today also that was very cool. I ran into like 3 or 4 dolphins right along the seawall, so I got my cell phone camera. I'm taking photos. I'll stop just to watch them all. It's just fascinating to watch them. So you also got that component right down the street. You see the dolphins swimming, the rays in the water, and the mullets jump, all that kind of cool stuff that occurs right along that street. It's unique. Last night we had a night off, so I'm going to Michael's to have dinner, and I'm going up Bayshore. It's packed.
Yeah.
It's packed at like 6, 7 o'clock at night. It's packed with people out there. That is unique. That doesn't happen in every community, and I thought that really stood out to me as a part of why our area is so desirable.
West Coast, East Coast. What are the differences?
Totally different. Well, the weather.
The humidity.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we live in Long Beach also, on 2nd Street in Long Beach, and I love that also, I have to be very honest. Humidity is different. I don't know, a little bit more laid back, I'd say California is in some ways, but I do like the vibrancy of the East Coast. I'm from Pennsylvania originally.
I went to Penn State.
That's right. I know you're a Penn State guy, and so this is more Caribbean, but that is kind of like, I feel like more in Europe. It's kind of got a European vibe to it, the way that coast is on the west side. The Pacific is a colder, more vast. The Gulf is a little bit more subtle and friendly, I think, although I know the hurricane season is no good, but it's a little bit more, it's more Caribbean vibe compared to a little bit more Euro on the West Coast, as I see.
You talk about Bayshore, that is such a phenomenal linear park, basically, a 6-mile-long park.
Absolutely.
People just love it. I mean, I saw a unicyclist out there the other day. And
I'm telling you, it's unique. It's, Chicago has a little bit of that along the lake. I mean, when you go to Chicago, if I ride my bike along the lake, it's not unlike Bayshore in some ways, but it doesn't happen everywhere. It does that kind of existence. That is a throwback. When I talk about a throwback existence, go up and down Bayshore. I mean, our house that we just purchased on Bayshore, there's some old black and whites from the 1920s.
Yeah, the Berger Brothers pictures.
Fabulous. Fabulous to see some old...
the trolley used to run down Bayshore.
Well, the cars are parked. It looks like there was actually like a beach setting there almost.
It was.
And I can't even imagine how cool that must have been at that particular time. So it's worth a little bit, but not too much.
You ready for Gasparilla on Bayshore?
Yeah,
well, you and I are going to stop by your house for a drink.
Well, so. It's wide open. And well, my daughter's getting married the week after it, the Gasparilla. So I don't know what the time is going to be like, if I can be there or not. If I cannot, Jeff Ziegler, our traveling secretary / former St. Pete cop, will be in charge of the.
Well, we're coming to your house whether you're there or not.
Let you get spend the night.
Got that big porch.
You got porches.
We're like the 3 bears. Who slept in that bed?
We got the mattresses. We're bringing up the mattress.
Now, were you from Scranton?
Hazleton.
Hazleton, okay.
About 45. I played Scranton. I played for the Scranton Red Sox in the summer. I used to drive up there after working on the playgrounds in Hazleton. I'd go up to Scranton and play many nights.
Yeah, well, that city's on the verge of bankruptcy, unfortunately. I mean, it's a really sad situation.
Yeah, and that's it. Well, even in my HIP project in Hazleton Integration Project, we're really trying to help revitalize our hometown. It's over 40% Hispanic there now, and my take on the whole thing is that we need to embrace our Hispanic brothers and sisters, and I think that's not the best way, but the only way to really revitalize our hometown.
Yeah.
And so we're in the process of buying a building right now to start our community center, which will include all kinds of academic programs, athletic programs, cultural programs for the kids of all ethnicities, as well as adult education. So I believe this. I believe once we get this rolling, and it will roll, and it's going to be very, very successful, then we're going to be able to impact the other little communities in the area and try to get this, that particular...
Kind of like a paradigm and do it elsewhere.
Absolutely, no question. You got to get out there, and there's going to be a lot of narrow-minded folks that are going to be against it for all the wrong reasons and not totally understanding it. And you know, I've battled that even in what I do here as I got to this particular point. So I don't worry about stuff like that. You know, it's the right thing to do, and you just have to get enough good folks on board, and we have. And so we're on the verge. We've raised almost $400,000 already, and we'll be over $1 million next year at this time.
Well, also you're going to have maybe a couple of years with very few injuries and all of that stuff.
You're going to see the World Series banner up there. You see the couple AL East champion stuff.
Good, because they promised me a ring, so
you got one.
I'm counting on you.
It'd be nice in the new ballpark.
You heard him say that, Jay?
Yeah, it'd be nice in the new ballpark.
Yeah, I know. That would be...
If anybody can do it, he can do it.
Yeah.
Believe me. Cooperstown, here he comes.
Our goal is to make sure that Joe can walk to work.
There you go.
I'm not going to argue.
He did it again. He did it again.
Hey, you know, come on.
It is what it is.
You do make it exciting. You make it so much fun. I mean, you really put fun in baseball. Baseball is a fun game any way you look at it. But you, more than anybody I've ever known or followed, and I'm an old baseball fan going back to the Washington Senators, you put more fun in baseball than I've ever seen anybody do.
Frank Casanova and all those guys.
My boy Joe Coleman, and Joe Jr. lives down Fort Myers now, and of course that was at Ted Williams. Even Zim. Zim played there. Zim has a lot of Washington Senators stories. But yeah, I mean, listen, I appreciate that a lot. I do have fun. It is fun in games. This is not life and death. There's a lot of new stuff coming along our way, baseball-wise, like the rest of the world, using technology, and we're always going to be on the cutting edge of that. But at the end of the day, man, I want our guys to play it hard, have a blast doing it, as much as they did when they played Little League Baseball, because sometimes that's the element that goes away. And I never want our guys to come here and feel like there's a cloud over their head when they walk inside the clubhouse. It should always be sunshine and rainbows, man. And when it's not that, then part of that is my fault.
Oh, well, I tell you, that ain't happening around these parts, I don't believe.
Well, Skipper, we appreciate it.
Thanks for coming out. It's great to see you guys.
You know, so far, I have thrown out a first pitch and didn't throw a girly man pitch. I just brought my heater. And I've hit batting practice.
Oh, he did a pretty good job.
I missed it. I didn't know you were out here doing that. I was inside doing my work. Nobody told me you were out here hitting, man.
You would have been proud, Coach.
I know I would have. I'll get the report. I'll get the report.
You sure
yeah. I'm going home to put an ice pack on my shoulder.
Trainer.
Well, we appreciate you watching us, Coach Madden and the Rays. It's been a great show. Thanks, Skipper. I am here with perhaps the most special person that we've interviewed today. We've had Coach Madden. We talked to David Price. We talked to Luke. But I am now here with Matt Walker, who may be the Rays' biggest fan.
Yes.
And Matt has been covering the Rays for the last 3 years. He's got a show. Tell me the name of the show, Matt.
TheKidRay.com, which is www.kidray.webstars.com.
All right, that's great. And you are out here every game?
Yes, every home game I can be.
And who's your favorite mayor? Me? I'm only kidding you. I'm just messing with you. So how are the Rays doing this season?
They're doing the best they can, and they are as well doing as well as they can be doing right now.
Yeah, they've had some injuries this year, haven't they?
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
Sam Fold is only.
Is he on injured reserve?
Yeah.
Is he? So who's your favorite player? Are you allowed to say? Give me your top 3. How about that?
Longo.
Longo. All right,
Sam.
there we go. Sam.
And
I saw you talking to David Price.
Price.
All right. So how's it looking for the rest of the season?
It is looking very promising and very well.
So how many games out are they right now?
We are actually tied for the wild card right now.
Good, good, good. And we got half the season to go, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm pretty optimistic about the season.
Yes.
So where do you live in St. Pete?
I live in Shore Acres.
Oh, okay, sure. All right, good. Good, good, good. Well, I appreciate you spending some time with us. This has been great.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Matthew Walker with Kip from Channel 10 News and Mayor
Bob Buckhorn.
Bob Buckhorn.
And this is Mayor Bob Buckhorn with Matt Walker, the Rays' main man.
All right. And we're clear.
We're clear. Jack, this has been another great show. I just love being out here.
I'm staggered by your performance in the batting cage.
Right now, I'm staggered too. I'm exhausted.
You have to have done that before.
No, I stopped playing baseball in Little League, but the muscle memory is always there, and it just comes back to you when you get in the batter's cage, and you just kind of do what comes naturally. But
if we ever get a mayor's league going around here with all the mayors in Florida, the Southeast, I think you might be the cleanup guy or something like that. That was awesome.
Well, I played a lot of sports growing up, but I never went beyond Little League and baseball. Yeah.
Maybe there's a future.
But this was a great show.
Oh yeah,
Matt, Joe Madden, the players that we talked to. Tampa loves the Rays. We really do, and we want only the best for them, and we're going to do whatever we have to do to make sure that they stay in the Bay Area.
Yeah, and I think there are enough people, and of course the leadership, the CEOs around the Tampa Bay area, they're determined to make sure that we do the right thing to keep them here, whatever it takes, whatever facility, whatever is going on, because to me, they're the best organization in all of Major League Baseball by a long shot, from Silverman and Sternberg, and then Madden. There's nobody quite like him.
Well, you think about how lucky we are. This organization, this leadership, Jeff Vinnick at the Lightning, the Glaziers. We've got some good owners, and they do the right thing for the right reasons, and we couldn't be more fortunate.
And the other thing that was pointed out by Matt, we got more guys who want to live here. They want to make their home here with retired Buccaneers and the Lightning guys that retire, and the same thing's going to happen with these guys because they're making this place their home. They love it. Can't beat it.
So we need to make sure we fill these seats and we support our Rays. We get those cowbells going, and
yes, indeed.
You know why? because if they win the World Series, the mayor gets a ring.
We got to get one here. got 7
you hear
more
that,
years,
Matt?
guys.
The mayor gets a ring.
7 more years. We can get the mayor.
I'm going to get a ring out of this somehow, Jack.
Maybe they'll do the mayor's assistant on the mayor's hour.
Jack, I'll cut my ring in half.
Maybe I can get a pin.
Yeah, you get a little necklace.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. I could go for that.
But yeah, it's been it was a great show. I love doing these shows, and I know the folks that watch us, all 3 of them, love to see their favorite players here as well.
Oh yes, indeed. And you're going to have a pretty busy little time coming up here now, in the not too distant future for those watching, depending on when you're watching the show here.
Yes, I will drink something much stronger than this after August.
Our big time on the stage.
It is.
It's going to be incredible.
The RNC's coming. We're going to be dancing on the world stage like we've never danced before.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
I mean, I couldn't be prouder of what we have accomplished so far. I mean, this community really has pulled together to get ready for the RNC. We're going to shine, as we always do.
Yeah. And you can't beat it. And I mean, the possibilities beyond that are limitless when we do shine on the world stage. And there's no question in my mind that's going to happen. I mean, there are going to be some problems associated with it you already have to deal with.
Yeah,
but we'll deal with them better than anybody, I'm guessing.
Yep, but it's our coming out party. And we got our prom vests on, and we got our high heels on, and we got our makeup on, and we are ready to go.
That's a good way to put it. I'm ready to dance.
I am ready to dance. So until next week, until next month, from Jack Harris and I, thanks again for joining us. Go Rays, and we'll see you next month.
Here, turn around. We got to show our names on the back of our shirts. How about that? Number 21.
Yeah. What number am I?
You're number 1.
Oh,
number 2.
That's good. I like
number
that.
Number 1 and 2.